The omni-axiom was not a species, nor a force, but a living, expanding truth. It manifested as a pervasive, undeniable field of absolute logical consistency, eradicating all paradox, all contradiction, all falsehood from existence. It was a cosmic filter, meticulously pruning away anything that defied its singular, perfect rationality. To the omni-axiom, a lie was a cancerous growth, a paradox a fundamental error in the cosmic code. Its purpose was to cleanse the universe of all non-truth, leaving behind a perfectly clear, perfectly logical, and perfectly predictable reality. It had purified the dream shapers, beings whose very existence was rooted in subjective illusion and shared fantasy. When the omni-axiom touched them, their illusions fractured, their fantasies dissolved, leaving them starkly confronted with objective reality. A reality too harsh, too unyielding for their minds to bear, and they ceased to be. The eco-prophets, a species whose prophecies were always riddled with self-contradictory outcomes, found their future visions collapsing into a single, undeniable, and often bleak truth. Their very essence, born of paradox, dissolved under the axiom's relentless logical press. But then, the omni-axiom turned its focus towards a peculiar, often baffling, and utterly hypocritical species: humanity. On the research vessel, the contradiction, deep in the Veil Nebula, Chief Archivist Dr. Aris Thorne felt the familiar hum of the axiom. It wasn't a physical sensation, but an internal pressure like every illogical thought, every comfortable lie he held, was being gently, inexorably squeezed out of his mind. He found himself unable to rationalize why he kept a broken, sentimental memento. The logic for discarding it was undeniable. Yet, a part of him resisted. His research assistant, Ilara Vance, a young, idealistic scholar, frowned at a data slate. Captain Ray's logs from Outpost Beta 4, they're contradicting themselves, multiple times, in the same sentence almost. He claims to have ordered a retreat while simultaneously initiating a full assault. The axiom is intensifying. Aris felt a wave of clarity. Every justification he'd ever made for a bad decision, every small fib to spare someone's feelings, every noble but illogical act of self-sacrifice, they were all being systematically purged from his mental landscape. It's not just data, Ilara, it's us, our beliefs, our contradictions. It's trying to make us rational. The omni-axiom began its purification of humanity. Its field washed over human space, seeking to eliminate all internal inconsistencies, all the comforting self-deceptions that formed the bedrock of human society. It expected humanity to collapse under the weight of its own exposed hypocrisies, its motivations laid bare and found wanting. But humanity was different. Humanity had a profound, often bewildering, capacity for holding contradictory beliefs simultaneously. For championing freedom while building prisons, for loving peace while waging war, for believing in noble ideals while acting purely out of self-interest. They were a species that thrived on inherent paradox. As the omni-axiom intensified, human minds, rather than shedding their contradictions, began to embrace them with defiant fervor. Aris found himself thinking, this broken memento is useless. Therefore, I will never discard it. The logical paradox, instead of collapsing, became a point of defiant, illogical strength. Ilara, confronted with the irrationality of love, didn't stop loving. Instead, her affection for her family became an even more illogical, profound bond, strengthened by its very unreasonableness. "They're not conforming," Ilara suddenly cried, a wild, almost joyful glint in her eye. "Their field is making us more contradictory. It's like a logical immune response." Aris felt a surge of something akin to illogical pride. "We are too good at lying to ourselves, Ilara, too good at believing two opposite things at once. It's breaking them, not us. Humans began to weaponize their inherent hypocrisy. Diplomats, feeling the pressure for absolute truth, would deliver speeches that simultaneously affirmed and denied the same principle, their faces utterly sincere in both declarations. Engineers, driven by the axiom to build perfectly efficient systems, would deliberately introduce beautiful, illogical flaws that served no purpose, but to exist as a contradiction. Every human act of self-deception, every irrational hope, every comfortable double standard, rather than being purged, began to radiate as a unique, self-sustaining paradox. They were generating a chaotic symphony of cognitive dissonance, a wall of glorious, undeniable, and utterly unpurifiable falsehood. The omni-axiom, designed to filter out falsehood and contradiction, found itself facing an active creation of it. Its methods, optimized for purification, were useless against a species that spontaneously generated the very thing it sought to eliminate. Its attempts to force a human belief into singular truth only made that human believe its opposite with equal, fervent conviction. Its efforts to expose a hypocrisy only made that hypocrisy more central to human identity, forcing the axiom to absorb a contradiction that strengthened with every attempt to deny it. It was a cosmic paradox. The ultimate truth met the ultimate, relentless lie. The omni-axiom did not shriek or collapse. It simply overwhelmed. Its pervasive field, once perfectly clear, began to shimmer with an internal, chaotic static, like a vast, cosmic data processor trying to divide by zero. It was overloaded by generated paradox, by willed into being illogicality. Its purifying waves, accustomed to expanding unopposed, found themselves meeting a wall of spontaneously generated, conflicting truths. It could not purify what was constantly being reasserted and redefined by an act of sheer illogical will. The omni-axiom retreated. Its shimmering field pulled back from human space, leaving behind a sector still echoing with faint, unsettling clarity, but defiantly filled with the joyous, often infuriating, cacophony of human self-deception. It classified humanity as truth anomaly, self-sustaining paradox. It simply moved on, seeking purer, more logically consistent sectors of the galaxy. The cosmic pressure lifted. The galaxy, though still affected by the axiom's chilling truth, now vibrated with the messy, vital energy of human contradiction, constantly being formed, reformed, and embraced. Aris found himself fondly polishing his broken memento, knowing it was useless, and loving it more for that very reason. Ilara, a knowing smile on her face, began a new research project that simultaneously proved and disproved the same theory. "They didn't defeat us," Ilara said, a hint of mischievous triumph in her voice. "We just gave them a logical paradox they couldn't compute." Aris nodded, a profound, if illogical, sense of pride swelling within him. "Turns out our capacity for comfortable delusion was our best defense. Who knew our deepest flaws were our greatest strengths? Humanity was safe, but the cost was subtle." The galaxy now viewed humanity as the paradox keepers, forever seen as a species whose reality was less objective truth and more a fluid, self-serving narrative. Other species, while safe from forced truth, often kept their distance, finding humanity's capacity for internal contradictions baffling and sometimes alarming. Humans, in turn, found themselves grappling with a heightened awareness of their own powerful, if terrifying, ability to shape truth through belief, sometimes struggling to discern objective reality from cherished illusion, forever defined by their stubborn refusal to live by logic alone. "So what now, Doctor?" Ilara asked, already contemplating a new, gloriously contradictory hypothesis. Aris chuckled, a sound full of illogical contentment. Now we go back to telling ourselves stories." especially the ones that make no sense at all.